Are RWAs, or real-world assets, going to be the next financial giant in the world of international markets, especially in the context of their overlap with crypto? At least as of right now, all signs seem to be pointing in that direction. You may remember the big news back in March. BlackRock had their BIDL fund that they started up. That stands for the BlackRock USD Digital Institutional Liquidity Fund. And you probably already knew, but just in case you didn't, BlackRock is an absolute behemoth. They are one of the world's largest financial investment firms. And I've mentioned this many times on the channel, but of course we have these projections by BCG, the Boston Consulting Group. They're saying that by the year 2030, which if you think about it is only 5.5 years away, less than that at this point. By the year 2030, we have the RWA sector in its totality that's going to represent $16 trillion as a market. And if we extrapolate other economic data and we consider the macroeconomic perspective, that actually equates to 10% of world GDP by 2030. So $16 trillion is a massive market, 10% of global GDP. So the potential in this space is really unlike anything else. There's a lot of room for crypto projects to grow. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the number 1 and number 2 crypto RWA projects and analyze head-to-head Ondo Finance and Mantra. Welcome to our channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. I wish you all the best of luck if you choose to invest genuinely, but whatever, because I'm not a financial or investment advisor. Just remember that and also be reminded that this video is not official financial or investment advice. Just a little bit of context here before we really dive into it. If you're new to this term, you probably aren't, but as a refresher here, RWAs, or real-world assets, are all about tokenizing real-world assets. It's all in the name, right? And you can literally tokenize anything. So real estate, art, commodities, or other financial instruments. And tokenizing just means you can fractionalize. This is the beauty of RWAs. So real estate. You may not be able to own, for example, an entire house. The housing market is crazy right now in the Western world. I'm sure you can relate to that statement. But think about how this can revolutionize ownership, because now you can own a fraction of a house if you want. You can own a part or parts of it. And so both of the projects that we're looking at today, Ondo Finance and Mantra Chain, are targeting institutions specifically. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't buy their respective tokens, because actually you can buy them on every exchange that lists them. Most major exchanges have both the Ondo, O-N-D-O, and the OM token listed. So that's not a problem. They're very accessible. Let's begin by examining Ondo Finance. ONDO is the ticker, and these guys are the leader of the RWA pack, at least as measured by market cap. And it really is worth remembering and considering that Ondo only launched in January of this year. And that is an astounding feat if you consider now that their valuation is just below $1 billion. Ondo's main target is institutions, but that being said, individuals can still trade on their platform. But before you can start trading on Ondo, you will need to complete a KYC. Firms, by contrast, need to complete a KYB, that's Know Your Business. And both setups just here confirm your ID or the business structure and its activities, right? Pretty standard. Platforms carry them out under internal policies and legal requirements. So to clarify, this is a different KYC compared to a centralized exchange, for example. Anyone who wants to buy the Ondo token can do so. This is for listing or trading assets on Ondo. However, just keep in mind that Ondo Finance is not available, unfortunately, for US residents or entities. And Ondo offers two very different tokens for trading on their platform. They're both tokenized notes. First of all, we have USDY. This one is backed by short-term US treasuries and bank demand deposits with a 5.35% APY. Then secondly, we have OUSG. This is backed by US treasuries, but is only available for qualified purchasers. These offer a 5.08% APY. And you can onboard their USDY webpage. After onboarding, you can mint or redeem USDY, however, only on business days. And that's because Ondo is not a 24/7 crypto exchange the way that we're used to with a lot of other platforms out there. Now, I already mentioned BlackRock's BIDL fund, again, BUIDL. Ondo has actually moved assets worth $95 million to this fund. And that resulted in an unexpected recent turn of events. Ondo actually surpassed BlackRock in TVL, total value locked, at least for RWAs. Today, as I record, the price of Ondo sits at just over 62 cents. which is a steal. The market is down overall, so is this project, but through no fault of its own. We have a market cap right now of $912 million. There is a max and total supply of 10 billion ONDO. However, as I've already mentioned, it's a fairly new project, hence there are only 1.4 billion tokens, or only 14% in circulation, which is a little bit of a drawback if I'm going to be honest. And if we take a look at the next 5 years, there are some big yearly token unlocks on the 18th of January, so just be sure to take note of that.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
The number 2 project in RWAs that we're considering here is Mantra Chain, ticker OM. And this is also number 2 in terms of its crypto ranking by market cap within the RWA sector. And this one's been around a little bit longer, since June of 2020. As a result, though, it has unlocked almost all of its tokens at this point. So out of an 888,888,888 max and total supply, we have 843 million tokens already in circulation. In other words, no more unlocks are coming your way, which is very good news. We have a price right now of just above 88 cents. This project, like everything else, just happens to be down on the day as I record. And we have a market cap of just over $750 million. And OM has had a spectacular year. If we take a look at the last 12 months, we can see that the token is up 4,600%. We actually did a deep dive video about Mantra about a month or so ago. Check that one out if you haven't already. We break down how Mantra is a permissionless chain for permissioned apps. And in a nutshell, being permissionless just means that anyone can use the chain. That means there's no single entity controlling the chain and users can stay anonymous. The permission part is just that Mantra is regulatory compliant. And so, just like Ondo, before you can trade on Mantra, you do need to complete a KYC or KYB. However, this ends the anonymous part. Mantra therefore offers compliant trading, and it has licenses to back that up. Just think of real estate or equities, right? For example, with SOMA, a system open market account in the United States. The Federal Reserve runs this, and these are dollar-denominated securities. So they have this one under their belt, and Mantra is looking to secure more licenses all around the world. Really, Mantra Chain has 4 main features. There's the Mantra Compliance module. These are just tools and services that allow you to meet regulatory requirements. So for example, a reusable KYC or KYB. This is an on-chain decentralized ID or DID that works with soulbound NFTs. Another key feature is the Mantra Token Service, MTS. Here you can create your own compliant digital assets on Mantra. It's a software development kit or SDK. At number 3, we have the Mantra Asset module. This just makes sure that the MTS works, and it lets you give a name and a symbol to your tokens. And finally, we have the Mantra DEX, which offers 2 features that are currently live, with many more in the pipeline. Firstly, have an option to stake your OM tokens, and secondly, it offers vaults that allow you to earn yield on your USDC. So which of these 2 projects do we prefer? Both are top-notch RWA protocols. However, they do offer slightly different products. The main common thread, however, is that they both target institutions. Ondo offers trading in 2 different tokens on their platform, USDY and OUSG, both of which are backed by US treasuries. But on the other hand, Mantra lets you tokenize a pretty wide variety of RWAs. So for example, things like art, commodities, even real estate, and then you can trade them on their own DEX. And to make it even more interesting here, both protocols also work together. Mantra is going to launch an RWA savings vault powered by Ondo's USDY later this year. I gotta say, personally, I don't have a strong preference here one way or the other. I think both of these are emerging heavyweights and they're both going to do super well. So I'm kind of neutral here when it comes to a decision, but let me know if you have experience in one or the other or both. Which of these 2 protocols do you like best and why? Let me know in the comments below.